Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It is, of course, Friday, November 19th, 2021. Welcome back, everybody. It's good to be back. It's a nice way to wrap the week down. Bitcoin seemingly bouncing. Bit of a pause to the big descent, guys. Bitcoin hanging on to 58K today after diving as low as 55.7, guys. What comes next? Is this the dip buying opportunity, or like most of the market now positioning to go short? Is it the right move? Is it too late? Well, we've got at least one analyst with us who was on the right side of this. Let's get him on screen. One of CC's senior and very illustrious analyst, Jason Bauman's with us, guys. He's on screen.
I like that.
Yes, the man. Yes.
For some reason, right now, the market makes me feel like that scene in Black Sheep where Chris Farley's holding on to the weed on the hill, and he's like, "Hold strong, little weed."
Oh man, that movie takes me back.
Looks like me right now.
That movie takes me back, especially that cool hot rod he had in it.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yep. Remember the nitrous bottles they break?
Yeah, they're in the cop car in the nitrous bottles. Richard, I think we're high on nitrous.
Man, that takes me way back. Rest in peace, and that man, Chris Farley, right? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yep, Chris Farley.
Probably David Spade. It's funny that Tommy Boy and Black Sheep were basically the same movie.
Basically the same movie. Yep.
It was so good they did it twice.
That takes me back, but yeah, man. Do tell. You have any quick thoughts to kind of summarize the last 24, 48 hours of price action? How did you fare? I think you were short. You swept a few take profits on the way down, right? Do tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on Tuesday we were looking at the charts, and I'm like, if it closes anything like this today, that will likely be getting into a short position, and we did on Tuesday's close. Ended up going short, even though I did write in my market analysis on that it was a little overextended for a usual entry, but it just basically triggered my PTSD in the past of always looking for that baseline bounce before trying to get a better entry and then missing the movement to the downside. So I felt like it was a good opportunity just to take that chance, and we didn't end up getting that push to the upside, just kind of an indecision candle and then another leg down, which swept through TP1 at about 57.1. And then now we're sitting here with a little bit of a buyback. In my opinion, looking at the charts and looking at the overall market, the crypto market, it looks like Bitcoin's struggling here, and a lot of the alts are putting in a lot bigger days. And I think that's represented through Bitcoin dominance. But did take a trade, one trade to the long side on Alice. Metaverse coin. Metaverse coins have been doing really well, and despite what the market's doing, its chart looked really great last night. So we're just in a little bit of drawdown on that right now. But yeah, this month has actually been a really good trading month for me, in the sense that only one trade has gone to the. I've only had to trade one trade out of, I believe. I mean, we can look at that real quick a little bit later. But I like 15 trades. Only one of them has been a loser this month. So, I mean, in despite of this indecision, that's why I think it's so important to be a systems-based trader rather than just kind of looking for the bigger movements in the market. Because even though it gets choppy, you still lock in that profit and then close out at break even. And then even in a range, you can still make good profit. And then being on the right side of this, of course, is super important, because now we have a lot of wiggle room within the market to really let us know on if we get back above this level of 58 to 59,000, we can look to close that and see if we can get any pressure to the upside. And if not, we're locked in at a really good place to let this thing crumble. So.
Indeed. All right, guys. Well, that's a nice little teaser of what comes up ahead. Jason's going to be back on the mic in about 30 minutes when we get into the main technical analysis charting section, guys. Hang tight for that. In the meantime, Jason waving goodbye. We're getting into the news. Let's do it. Getting into that right now. First piece, guys, you know how it goes. We got about 90 minutes in store today. Getting into this first piece here from Being in Crypto. And then, of course, we'll get into the bubbles. We'll check in on the bubbles. We'll shout out the audience. We'll get into the daily scan. Jason will walk you through his daily look at the charts and the markets before we get into the request line. That's right, guys. Get your requests in. We'll probably get a few knocked out today. In the meantime, Let's get into this first news piece from Beat and Crypto. Plan B insists Bitcoin will still hit 98,000 by the end of November, even as the markets fall. Yeah, here's I'm not going to dive too much into this. I personally don't put too much stake in the Plan B stock to flow model.
Follow the charts, not the media.
Indeed, but something to think about on a day like this. Bitcoin has dipped. Let me go quickly measure what we're down 10 or 20% from the absolute top. We're currently down about 15% from the absolute top of the highs of just last week or so. And, so this is an opportunity. You might be looking at this as an opportunity to buy, not necessarily get shaken out or fearful. Of course, this isn't trading advice, but something to think about. Yes, on a day like this, where Bitcoin has recoiled as much as 20% from the top, could wake up in just 2 weeks, closing out November even higher, as high as 100,000 almost. That's this according to.
You could write that article every day of the year. I mean, Bitcoin could be anywhere in the next 2 weeks. We've seen how volatile it can be. Like, that's just like a whole nothing burger of a story to be like. It could be anywhere in 2 weeks. Like,
well, it has to do with Plan B's stock to flow model, right? So, in his case, he says that his stock to flow model says that even with this correction right now, that could even still extend a bit deeper. He still thinks that $100,000 Bitcoin is still on the table for the end of the month, no matter what happens.
end of month?
Yeah,
Okay.
end of month. He wants to see 100,000 end of month. That this week's correction. So I just want to put that in perspective, guys. Not that this is investment advice, not necessarily that this is the spot to buy, but something to think about. That yes, just as
I mean, it could happen looking at the weekly. If we get a bullish engulfing candle on next week's weekly candle, I've seen that chart pattern a lot.
Never discount
I mean, not
Bitcoin
on the weekly usually, but
With that said, guys, we'll save the TA for later. I just wanted to lead with that. Let's get into this next piece. Floki Inu gains as an Floki Inu gains an eye-popping 69% as the Dogecoin and Sheeb rival lands a major deal. Yeah, did you guys see Floki pumping today? Man, why do we not buy these stupid things? Like, why are
should
we?
have started a dog pound like 2 years ago.
Floki Inu has gained over 69% in just 24 hours as crypto markets struggle to recover from punishing retrace. Typically, when Bitcoin sneezes, the aggregate market catches a flu, but Floki has managed to buck the otherwise downward trend. All right, so this article is going to go into Floki. Why did Floki pump over 60% today? Well, apparently a new announcement with a tie-up with Kerala Blasters FC, India's largest football club. Well, I didn't know India was known for its football clubs, but there you go.
Pretty sure it's huge there too.
This is super, yeah, but I mean, how many?
Jack's not buying it.
how many top tier football stars have we seen hail from that part of the world? Sadly, I do not think that particular peoples are super competitive in football. So my eyes are rolling a little bit. I didn't realize that Indian football clubs are the premier, leagues to watch. But apparently, in this case, Kerala Blasters Football Club of Indian fame is responsible for pumping Floki Inu 70% today, guys. My eyes could not roll back any further. I am not going to cover too much more to this article, but there you go. There's at least one story.
Like that one news article where they said, was it some soccer players said that he likes water, not Coke, and then like Coke's share went down like 20% or some shit like that. They reported that just because he had said that at a press conference, he like tanked Coca-Cola's stock.
Well, there's always looking for for explanations, guys. And in this one, if you were reaching for one,
someone had a deadline.
Yeah, for Floki. Well, somebody just came up with with this one. Let's let this one go. But shout out to anybody enjoying a good rip on Floki today. With that said, let's get into this next piece. You guys
shout out to Johnny. He wanted me to mention that he had bought a bunch of wait, what was it? It was a token. Hold on. He's like, will you mention it on the show? I'm like, no, Johnny, I'm not going to mention your shit coin.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured, anyways, I'll just say that he bought a coin called, where is it? What the hell is it? Oh, Husky. It's a different dog coin.
Oh, Husky, right?
He's living on a prayer here. He bought Husky coin
So
off of Bio.
I might have presumed that's Husk with an E on the end.
Husky.
Oh, SKY. Wow, I thought it'd be Husky with the E. You know, Doji.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Why didn't they do that?
Why did
Husky.
that? I don't know. I thought that was
It's
the
like
way.
the only one that would have really worked.
I know. It's exactly right. I thought that one was too obvious.
Maybe this is our chance.
Well, I guess we could re-release Husky with the E. Yeah? Correct a major injustice here. With that said, guys, let's go ahead and get into this next piece. This has been trending pretty hard the last day or two. This is one's classic, I guess, punchline from the NFT joke book. Let's have a look. This one comes from Protos.com. This Australian artist right-clicked $1 billion worth of NFTs, so you don't have to. Let's go have a look. An Australian software engineer claims to have right-clicked every NFT on the Ethereum Solana network and made them available for anybody to download. This according to Tom's Hardware.
Oh,
Jeffrey Huntley created the first NFT Bay to be a replica of the notorious Pirate Bay, and it's not far off, albeit with one download link. And it's not just any old download link. This link gives NFT fans access to more than 20 terabytes worth of images. For those of you who don't speak computer, that's a lot. Let's see here. Here's a tweet. Somebody asked, "Oh my God, who right-clicked all of the NFTs and launched a new site called the NFT Bay?" Yes, as you can imagine, the so-called billion-dollar torrent has sparked some frenzied debate online. Opinions have ranged from calling it a genius piece of performance art to angry NFT owners claiming it as a huge win because it shows the true value of real NFTs. Or something like that. Humphrey himself calls the right-clicked images an educational art project inspired by the Australian comedy character. I see. He says it's designed to teach the public about NFTs in the hope that fewer people will be swindled by the technology's innumerable grifters. Twitter changed its checkmarks as of 2012. Let's have a look. Humphrey also posted a presumably tongue-in-cheek explanation at launch. In it, he pitches the NFT Bay as a resource for future generations to better understand the craze. He writes, "Did you know that NFT is just a hyperlink to an image that usually hosted on Google Drive or another Web 2.0 web host? People are dropping millions of dollars on instructions on how to download images. That's why you can right-click Save As, because they're the standard images. The image is not stored on the blockchain or within the contract itself." He says, "As Web 2.0 web hosts are known to go offline, this handy torrent contains all of the NFTs so that future generations can study this generation's tulip mania and collectively go, WTF, we destroyed the planet for this." Ah, yes, one of these people who's convinced that crypto somehow is destroying the planet. See what the motivations are now.
Let him have it, Jack.
Let's see here. It's still, so this one, of course, trending pretty hard. Let's see here. We know that bananas people go over Twitter verified check marks. Now we think, how can social media will change when people have the ability to verify proof of ownership or membership as early investors, or let's see here, or in order to add to their bio. Yes, indeed. This is in fact one of the things that's being brought up here at the end, which is that once Twitter and similar platforms bring out blue check marks, right, statuses that can verify you as owning specific assets on the blockchain, that indeed might start putting this picture together. Because for now, you can see the average person's like, well, why would I pay for this? I can just download it and use it the same way. Well, you know, as we said before, once there's an actual Web3 verification, once there's check marks to go out to people who actually own on-chain assets, this type of business here where people think they can just download it and post it being the same thing, well, that in time will change. With that said, that's the story of the Australian guy who downloaded all the NFTs on the blockchain and put them up in one handy torrent for you guys to download. Sweet. Well, at least somebody's backing it up.
Did you get a CryptoPunks in there?
Well, luckily, the CryptoPunks are a unique NFT in a sense that they actually exist on the blockchain itself. Most NFTs, as this article points out, you know, that the file is hosted somewhere else, whether on Web 2.0 or an IPFS. CryptoPunks are unique in the sense that because they are pixel art, they're such small, you know, file sizes. They uploaded the CryptoPunks themselves to the Ethereum blockchain. They actually exist physically. They're not like just hyperlinks to you know, CryptoPunk images off of the blockchain. Makes them kind of unique, but only possible with very low the resolution type photos like that. With that said, guys, that's enough of the Australian artist. Let's get into another piece or two before we get into the next segment. For the first time in 2 months, Bitcoin's Fear and Greed Index shows fear. I'm not sure if I'm going to dive into this article because they misspelled greed. They wrote grid in the title. Well,
Oh
the
God,
fear
we're
and
on the
grid,
grid again.
the fear and grid index, boys. You hear to hear. With that said,
Moon phases,
we
fear
have
and grid.
yeah we have our own any word I think in the chat updating us on the fear and greed. But yeah, something to think about. Finally, the dip below 57K sends
Fear
the
the grid.
fear and greed index diving to 34, showing a state of fear for the first time since October 1st. Yeah, people scared for the first time in a couple months. Man, I guess, does this mean I should just counter trade the sentiment? People flip bearish just in time for the market to come back up? Maybe, we'll see. Let's go ahead and get to the next piece. I don't want to cover too much of that. ZY Crypto reports Binance CEO CZ reveals the biggest factor hindering crypto's growth. Let's go find out what CZ thinks is holding the industry back. CZ wants to give back a sizable portion of his wealth like other billionaires before him. And the Binance CEO stated that he's financially free, can maintain his current lifestyle. Yeah, we covered this yesterday, but what's the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge of crypto today is the ease of use. While hitting that volatility could also be an issue. Ease of use. Yeah, it's not really for everybody. You know, at least not the average person who, you know, can barely remember their password. And I guess volatility. Well, CZ, nothing too enlightening here, so I'm not going to indulge this article too much further. I think we all know that volatility and indeed barrier to entry, probably the biggest things holding back Bitcoin right now. With that said, get into this next piece of news. Bitcoin reporting that Kraken is now delisting top privacy coin Monero, at least for its UK users. It seems the UK users will soon no longer be able to access Monero on one of the leading crypto exchanges. There's also been concern around the Bitcoin competitor regarding the absolute privacy that digital asset confers. Until now, it remains impossible to track and trace Monero transactions, making it the ultimate privacy coin, and governments are worried that individuals will use this to evade taxes. Another concern is around the use of crypto as a criminal tool, although there's no definite way to tell if this is true. However, it remains high enough on the list of concerns that even countries where crypto is not illegal are clamping down on the crypto. The latest in the UK comes as regulators have pushed Kraken to remove access for its citizens. Yeah, guys, this is something I bring up somewhat frequently on the show, guys. I can see a very bullish use case for privacy coins down the road, right? As you know, as adoption takes hold in the crypto among the average people, people will soon after the next frontier will be privacy, right? It's one thing to get into crypto and then understand crypto. Once you get into it and understand it, you realize, holy crap, these are public ledgers, and there's a real lack of privacy on this. People can see right into your business, they can peer right into your wallets and all your history. Privacy could be a pretty valuable feature to integrate into one of these protocols, right? But here comes the issue. This is where the regulator's not so much going to like it. Something I bring up frequently on the show, guys. I can see a future where there is a big regulatory shakeout, and they pick the winners and the losers. And among the losers, I'm worried are going to be privacy coins. Bitcoin will get with the program, you know, even as the regulators and the government says, yo, we gotta have a surveillance state. We gotta know everything about you. Bitcoin can work with that. Bitcoin, very transparent. The regulators are going to get along with that just fine. It's the likes of Monero, the privacy coins. This is one token too far, right? I don't think are gonna necessarily show much love to these privacy tokens, and in the end, their fate might be tied to this feature here, privacy, one where the regulators will just not allow. Something to think about, guys. I'm low on time. Let me see here. Yeah, I gotta almost wrap up the news, but it is something to think about. As this article points out, Monero, one of the few cryptos that manages to confer absolute privacy. It's one of the few coins that makes your money your own, security without compromising privacy, something that was unheard of just a few years ago. Yes, some people consider the security itself, it's worth its weight in gold, and Monero is one of those coins that really doesn't compromise on the security and privacy front. But guys, that means we run headfirst into what the regulators and the authorities want. And sadly, as much as I believe in Monero, the powers that be have the ability to kind of marginalize and push you off of the on and off ramps. And so this is a little teaser as to, you know, how the authorities will really curtail things like privacy. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into maybe one more news piece. I got enough time to cover one more. Moon NFT metaverse allows crypto holders to build civilization on the moon. All right, this sounds like a be very wary and skeptical of this one, guys. This sounds like a press release, but I'm curious. What about the moon? Developed by Moon Software Engineering Studio, Moon promotes itself as the first interplanetary metaverse. Unmatched play-to-earn experience allows crypto enthusiasts to monetize their gaming skills while creating a new civilization from scratch. All right, so is this like a real-time strategy game where you're building colonies on the moon?
Another one of those play-to-earn type style games, like the 2 projects that I'm involved in. It's basically the same format.
Yeah.
Probably building a metaverse in the meantime of it.
Let's see here. The gameplay merges the future of Age of Empires, Rise of Nations, and SimCity, focused on both strategic planning and long-term. All right, this is about what I thought, guys. If you are
Diablo.
if you are indeed a fan of real-time strategy, I think that would be the term for this type of game. RTS, yes.
Yep.
This is more of a press release, so I'm gonna go ahead and bridge this section. But hey, if you're looking to play to earn, maybe explore a new game. There are some play-to-earn gamers out here. Check out Mystery of the Moon. Let me know if it's any good. All right, enough of that press release. They ought to pay us for shilling this crap here. Bitcoin.com reports that U.S. Senator introduces legislation to repeal the infrastructure bill and its attack on the crypto industry. Senator Ted Cruz, yes, I think it's Texas Senator Ted Cruz, introduced a bill to repeal the trillion-dollar infrastructure package's crypto provision, which he said is a devastating effect on the crypto industry. I urge my colleagues in the Senate, he says, to repeal this harmful language that will create regulatory uncertainty and in turn a necessary barrier to innovation, he said. Let's see here. He said earlier on Tuesday, yes, a couple days ago, President Joe Biden signing the $1 trillion package is a devastating attack indeed. It's going to stifle innovation, he says, endanger the privacy of Americans, and crypto is going to be torpedoed. All right, don't need to add too much more, but it's nice to see Ted Cruz, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz. Maybe we'll do something about this horrible provision. With that said, maybe the reason we've seen this retracement in price, maybe this is like a delayed reaction to this signing of this bill. You think this bill would have sent shockwaves through space? Maybe this current pullback. Let's have a look. One more piece here from Cointelegraph. Inflationary winds from around the world spell a sea of change for Bitcoin. Well, this is probably just one of those narratives that I always drum on in the show. Inflation that helps pump Bitcoin's price. The global economy is in uncharted territory now vis-a-vis Bitcoin and inflation. During most of the crypto's brief life, the economic environment has been generally pro-growth, stable prices, but recently there's fresh warnings of an inflationary storm. If so, what does it mean for Bitcoin? Long promoted as partisans as an inflation hedge, although not really tested in this way since at least its 2009 founding. And that is, with millions of individuals and institutions flocking to Bitcoin as a safe haven, an alternative to gold, will it turn out to be an actual alternative to gold and Bitcoin, alternative to gold and USD, this article asks. Recent reports like the recent rise, the 6% rise in October CPI, hitting a 30-year record, were sobering, although this recent bulge in the single national economy might be related to ongoing supply chain issues and pent-up post-pandemic customer demand than any secular change in the markets. And on it goes, guys. If you're interested in reading this op-ed piece that dives into Bitcoin and the whole narrative around inflation, is Bitcoin really the inflation hedge? This piece, like many topics, articles diving into this topic, will attempt to answer that question. With that said, guys, it's 1:30. I got to get into the next segment. Thanks to everybody kicked it with us during the news. If you missed any part of this or you want to review anything like this Cointelegraph piece here, I will leave links in the description below on YouTube. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the next segment. Who's kicking it with us here on... actually, it's the bubbles? Yeah, let's go look at the bubbles first, and then we'll dive into the chat. Damn, mighty green today. Is my bubble set correctly? It is. Wow.
Recovery.
Seems like Bitcoin kind of makes a little bit of recovery, hanging on to some 58K support. Is, well, fertile soil for a lot of these alts to spring forth. What's up?
Looking at the charts and where they are, it's hard for me to not look at this as a baseline bounce opportunity to get short again.
Yep.
But we'll just have to see what kind of follow through that we get.
Yes, is this one big fake out? Will this all reject and be all red? Swept red by tomorrow? I guess we'll find out. But let's quickly cover a couple of the big gainers today. Some decent ones. E&J, yeah, E&J up nearly, or yeah, a little over 26%. Other big gains include SafeMoon. SafeMoon's back. SafeMoon pumping off some kind of bottom. Here's SafeMoon up 21%. A few other big gainers. Phantom's up 18%. Omizago 14. MANA's up also 14%. eGold's up nearly 17%. Loop Ring 17%. And we've got a smattering of other double-digit gainers. Rune, Helium Network, Holochains here, and a few more, all up double digits, a little over 10%, and a smattering of other tokens up single digits, 5 or more. So it's a pretty green day in the alt space. Maybe this is just reflecting the bloodiness of the last 48 hours. With that said, guys, there's a brief look at the alts. I think everybody's bags are looking just a little healthier today. Maybe the fall has been arrested. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the next segment here. Who's kicking it with us in the live chat? Let's go give it a look, shall we? All right, scrolling up now. Big shout outs to Profit Bear first in the chat, as far as I can tell. What's up? So is the bottom in, asks Profit Bear. Well, where did you like it to be? I too may have to go buy the dip here. CryptoBull21, big shout outs to you. Ron Legato. Let's go. Crypto Jenny is with us as well. Big shout out to Crypto Jenny live chat. Blockchain Gains, number 4 like smash. Well, thank you very much, Blockchain Gains. Same goes to the rest of you. Hit that like button. Alex1233 is with us.
Don't you like us?
Yeah, exactly. Don't you guys like us? Don't you wanna go to your home? Alex1233. Big shout outs to you. That shirt rocks, Jason. Well, there you go. You got a fan. CryptoBull21. Hit that like, folks. Show some love. Good advice. CryptoGen. I'm trying to figure this shirt out. All right.
No one knows what it means. It's provocative.
Alex.
Gets the people going.
Alex1233. Is he on holiday in Hawaii? No, I don't think he is. Mr. Ether.
Holiday in Iowa, baby.
Mr. Ether asking for Cardano and E&J. I will certainly add that to the request line. Hang tight. Any word? Yes. The fear greed index plummeting down to 34. Jason, got to get me one of those icon chains. Yeah, you certainly do. Those icon chains are pretty dope. Got to bring your bankroll for one of those. B-Flow, I shorted Woo last night. Would you say that was a bad move or ride this storm out? B-Flow,
Take a look at it.
I will add Woo USDT to the request line. We'll see how much trouble you got yourself into. Any word? Not that bad of a fall at all. No, I guess it isn't. Those chains are sweet, says Mr. Ether. Mr. Ether spotted those chains too. Mr. Ether, I gotta send you an icon as well, complimentary icon. I sent one to Jason yesterday. Mr. Ether, I gotta send you one before this weekend.
Handing out mannequin heads, baby.
Yep, I'm sending out a few NFTs, not to sell or anything, but I would like to kind of spread them around a bit. Mr. Ether will get in touch over the weekend. Any word?
Teaching me all about the benefits of holding different projects just for the work that the team themselves do.
There you go. Any word? Never got too high on extreme greed. Yeah, we never went too extreme on the greed side. Any word? Just a matter of how long it goes sideways and then up. Yeah, it is just a matter. Well, let's hope. Let's hope if you're on the more bullish side, we indeed start pulling up from here after a bit of a sideways stretch in the high 50s. Xavier, big shout outs to you on YouTube. Any words with us? I already mentioned. Waiting for Wolfie to make its run. Good luck with that one.
Wolfie.
Let's see here. People have to go do your own research. Indeed, that's always good advice. Hey y'all, I did buy the mother dip. Yeah, good call, Beckham 08. I may have to, after the show wraps up, I have some USDT sitting up Bybit. I've been thinking maybe I should grab this spot here. AJ updating us on a very important trial. Not guilty on all counts. Well, if that's true, that is amazing. Shout outs to Rittenhouse. I should probably not get into that, but
Shout out to Rittenhouse.
It does. We've talked about this briefly on the show before. This does. Maybe there's some hope for America yet, right? A clear-cut case of self-defense. It's a shame. It would have been a serious shame if he had been found guilty. So I'm glad to hear that justice, I think, has been appropriately served here. Like I said.
So let's know, all you kiddos, just don't go walk around and antagonize people who have loaded guns.
Yes, that's excellent advice. Stay out of trouble, and don't go
Read a book.
don't go burglarizing and burning down your own neighborhoods. Apparently, well, Americans still have the right to protect themselves and their property. So I'm glad that this case has worked out. Again, you may not agree. This has been a very polarizing case, but thank you for the update. I'm very glad to hear that. Big relief. Peckham 08, rock on, MANA, WAXP, and VeChain. Yes, MANA, WAXP, and VeChain serving Peckham 08 pretty well today. Is there an echo in here? I don't think so. MANA Ripping Boy. Okay, so it's all the MANA talk. Let's see here. News. News should be last. The markets are always moving while we're in the news. Are they now? Let me take a look. Jack.
Always, man.
B-Flow says, my mind's blown. I didn't know about NFTs. Okay, so another issue, or another Aussie ripping off a crypto guy, huh? How is Craig these days? Has he done a McAfee? No, he hasn't done a McAfee yet. I guess we'll check in on that trial. Last we heard, he was threatening witnesses on the stand, as they were...
on the stand.
Yeah, as they were on the stand, as they're giving their testimony.
Like a Key and Peele style like courtroom where he's just like looking at like the person on the stands like me and you, bitch.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, nothing happened.
The judge is looking over your shoulder. Oh man.
He's like running his fingers across his throat. It's like, listen, bitch.
Oh, that's what a character, right? All right, let's get a couple last comments nailed.
Shit, right.
And we're getting into the next segment. B-Flow, I thought they were all on chain. Oh, the NFTs? No. They are not. Blockchain itself is a very expensive database. Good luck uploading, multi-megabyte photos. No. All you can do is upload, you can upload whatever you want to the blockchain, but it's very expensive, very difficult to embed actual files, right? File storage is not what the blockchain is meant for. Yes, so in the case of CryptoPunks, they exist on the blockchain. Most other NFTs that you know of, not really. The NFT just points to other outboard file storage. Let's put it that way. With that said, I got to get to the next piece. Let's see here. Make 516. Sheeb Elon, $7 million market cap, number one viewed on CoinMarketCap, and Doc2Dev, jump in before stealing. Well, thank you, Make516, for coming through this Friday afternoon to shill the token known as Sheeb Elon. Oh boy. Well, there you go. Exactly. You guys heard it here. Apparently, according to this user, it's not too late, guys. Jump in. Not investment advice, but hey, Sheeb Elon.
Always a good idea.
Wow, the meme coins. Now we're integrating, now we're like consolidating memes, right? We're compounding memes. We're taking Elon and the Sheeb. We're making one coin out of it. Gotta love it.
We're gonna have to one of these days just kind of sit down, get a bottle of whiskey, and just kind of go over all what we think is gonna be next, just so we can capitalize on whatever piece of shit comes out next. Yeah. Like we're gonna find a way how to meme the meme coin or something.
Yeah, we need like what can we do? Like
Inception.
There's clearly about e-news and stuff and Elon, so maybe we need to do like Cybertruck e-new, something like that. Maybe that'll get people excited.
Oh, well, a little on the back of Elon there.
Shiba truck e-new, right? Bulletproof glass cyber e-new truck. I don't know. I'm really stretching it out here. Let's just continue, guys, before it gets any more miserable. Christian Zeldon, a question: why should government charge tax? This stuff is on and done on a decentralized protocol without any government need, or etc. Yeah, that is maybe a worthy question, right? With all this happening on decentralized protocol, what authority does the government really have in this domain? Would be the argument.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah, fortunately, if you live under their jurisdiction, well, that's all the authority they really need. But indeed, this is it's an argument to be made. So we talked about on yesterday's show the idea of something that Hoskinson mentioned. You remember we talked about this on yesterday's show, guys? The idea of will we willingly adopt some stuff that the legacy system wants, basically, tracking, right? Will we be willing to register every transaction or register your identity or your address with a public authority, and then everything, kind of turning these permissionless networks into more of a permission system? That is a big philosophical question. Will we go forward with that? Will we do that in order to kind of appease the regulators and move the industry forward, or is it just a compromise gone too far? Christian Zeldon, indeed, kind of hinting at it in this question here. All right, guys, I've kind of really dragging this one out. Shout out to Daniel on YouTube as well. I realized through comments, not quite yet. Let me scroll down. Let's see here. Peckham08. I'm in a massive SimCity fan. Ah, okay, that's cool. Maybe check out this one. Bflow. Yes, Mr. Authority, I know this will reduce your power, but I think of all the stifled innovation, asks Stalin what he thought about innovation. Well, how about that? I cashed that at the moment, says Peckham08. In the NFT news, he signed it. All right, blah, 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 blah. Guys, I would love to read more comments, but I'm almost out of time. I got to get into the next segment. Shout out to Philly Car, who's here as well, who says, evening, fellas, Sarah Cox is on the radio, if anybody's bored. Well, I don't really listen to the BBC. We don't exactly have access to your radio waves, Peckham08, and I don't know who Sarah Cox is, but shout outs to Peckham. Jonah, love the show. Is with us. I've got a big list of S coins if you guys are interested in. All right, bring us your S coins. Peckham08, Christian Zeldon. I think I mentioned all these guys. If I missed you guys today, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of low on time. I got to get into the next segment. Shout outs to everybody kicking it with us this Friday afternoon. We're getting into the next piece. Jason. We're getting into your TA components. Oh, he's already live. In that case, guys, jumping into the main scene. Let's do it. Boom. We are connected. Looking at the BTC/USD 24-hour chart on Bitstamp. This is where I go into the live comments and start extracting all your requests. And Jason is going to take you on a little journey through his daily scan of the markets. You all ready to go, buddy?
Yep.
All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. Do enjoy Jason, and I will be back, or I'll be extracting those requests. And last but not least, Jason, I forgot to mention, I will also be putting your webcam on for the duration of this segment. So just let you know. Hold it down. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, getting into Bitcoin here, as you can see from where this was when we were looking at it last on Tuesday on this initial short signal here. Things kind of played out exactly as expected. From this, the only thing that I wanted to see out of this was a rising explosion level, but we ended up getting that the next day, which was great for continuation on this indecision. This is what I was talking about earlier, in the sense that this was a little overextended below my baseline, and this is usually where you'd look for that baseline pullback to get a little bit better entry. But when I was looking at it and this closed back below this level, I've seen it happen too many times where you get that indecision to the downside, or you just get a wick to the downside, catch TP1, and then a reversal. But we did end up getting that sell-off, which took profit there, stop loss now at break even. I do find it very concerning that we're having a lot of trouble getting over this area right here. This 58-200 range right here, where you see that we bounced off here as resistance, now appears to be becoming support. I think that this is an important level to watch on today's daily candle, because if we do close below this, I have a feeling that the end result is going to end up being a candle that likely either wicks up and then wicks back down, or just flat out mimics this exact pattern down again, because this is where they get that whole verbiage of stair step up, elevator down. It doesn't give you any chances to get back out, and the more we keep closing under these resistance levels, the more I think that people are going to start capitulating and likely get that test of that 48 range that we have been talking about. The two places that we do have marked out here, which were marked out well before we had this dip, were this bottom line here that we just came down and bounced off of, sitting there at that 56.1, and then over here at that 49.1, that where our 200 EMA is sitting at. And if we come and look at the weekly, it looks extremely weak to me, but this is not to say that we can't get a pattern like this right here, where we end up getting that bullish engulfing after with 2 weeks. If we do end up getting that run, then it's very possible that we'd end up getting that price prediction of the 90s before the end of the year. I don't know about the end of the month. That would be a hell of a candle to come through. But I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But the only thing we can do here is trade the chart in front of us. And it tells us to be short right now. We've taken profit. We've locked that in. Now sitting with our take profit at break even. I can study the 4-hour underlying to see if we end up getting that long signal here, and then I can take profit. But as for now, there's nothing I can do. We're in the right position on Bitcoin at least. OMG is a different trade. Currently sitting in, what are we sitting in? BTC, Comp, and Alice. The numbers are clearly wrong here because it's got me up 9,972%, but that's probably just the JSON data that's getting messed up or something, but that would be nice. Other than that, right now, I think that we're just stuck here. I think it's very likely that Bitcoin's going to close within this channel because this is what will cause the most uncertainty across the market, in my opinion. And that's just what it likes to do. You won't know if it's going to go up from here or down, but likely off of this test, I think a close back below here is going to probably result in some downwards price action over the weekend, and then hopefully get bought back up to close around the same price. Like I always talk about, over the weekend, it's one of the reasons why I use the CME data for my hedging strategy, because it takes out that data because it's usually a wash. The weekend volatility usually ends up kind of washing itself out by closing relatively close to where it did on that Friday. So that's always something to keep in mind. Doesn't mean it always happens, because if we do start to get that sell-off, it'll likely be volatile. As you can see here, volatility is still expanding by this rising explosion level. Today getting a little chopped up on WADA, but we're already short. So I think the thing to do here is stay in that position until we are forced out of that position. Today, looking at Bitcoin dominance, kind of taking it in the face. I had this level marked down here at that 42. I think that that's likely to come down there and test that. I think you're seeing that across the markets, across the alt markets, as you can see with crypto bubbles, quite green across the market. But again, when I look at this chart, it's really hard for me to see not see this as a shorting opportunity, because we're still below all of the baselines. We did get short signals. I think you can see this. I mean, every single one across the market looks exactly the same today. So most charts are going to look exactly the same. This just depends on what kind of trader you are. And for me, looking at this, I would just like to give it more time. But if anything, I'm going to be looking at these for shorting opportunities, because they're below my baseline and everything is looking bearish up until now, except for a few crossovers on oscillators. If anything, would just tell me to get out of short positions. So nothing to really do there as a trader, in my opinion, for the way I trade. I'm coming up just to resistances here. But do with that what you will. We're going into the weekend, and I think that it's going to be probably a sideways weekend, in my opinion, if not down. Taking a look at gold, getting some take profits and a close back below here. Break of trend on the daily. It's probably a good time to take a little bit of profit on gold. But watch the levels down here at that 1827. Come back down there to test this in between there. But like I said, I think gold still does look strong, but it could absolutely have a little bit of a pullback here and still continue to the upside. But overall, starting to break trends. Same thing as with silver here. But I'll be shocked if it breaks down from here. I like this chart a lot. I think silver still gets the pump out of it, but we'll just have to see. I think that this looks like a solid chart for continuation. Dow Jones taking it on the head. The funny thing is, QQQ gapped way up today, and the SPY also hit all-time highs today. So very shocking to see that, in consideration with what the Dixie's doing. I think that this is an extremely solid break of this ascending broadening wedge. I think this is very bullish. I think that the Dixie's going to be unstoppable here. We'll likely go a little bit sideways, but ultimately I think it continues up. And I think that should be representative that traditional markets doing the inverse, but we're just not seeing that right now. At least out of the QQQ and the SPY. Weeklies all looking great for continuation, except for the Dow Jones now breaking down, coming down to test its weekly baseline. So you'll have to see if it catches any support there, but definitely not mimicking what the other markets are doing. And as someone who just trades crypto, this is interesting for me to see, just in the sense of I'm curious to see how it works out, because I just like basically downloading knowledge on what happens in the market and then using it to my advantage later. So the more time I get in the market, the more things I can learn. So I'm interested to see what happens with the correlation between these three and the Dixie right now. Because in my head, with the way the dollar's expanding, I would think that people would start fleeing from traditionals. But we're just not seeing that in these two sectors. But other than that, lower time frames on Bitcoin was a solid 2-hour long here, but kind of getting faded. Just kind of have to wait. But oscillator's getting a little overextended. I think that we're going to at least have another test to the downside on lower time frames. Like I said, I think that it's very likely that the daily closes within this range because it's the chart pattern that's going to be the most indecision. But if you were to really test me, I think that we go down rather than up from here. But we'll see. We'll be safe. It's not my job to be right. It's my job to make money. And then the market will start showing us which side has strength, and then we'll get on the right side of it again. Other than that, I think that that's a good enough overview of what's going on in the market to me, at least for what I do. Again, I'm a systems trader. I just look at the charts. I don't really need to know what's going on within the markets themselves.
All right, I'm back. Yes, I had to walk away for a few minutes. Sadly, I have not logged any requests yet, but I'm about to do that right now. Let's go ahead and start with this first one. Let's go up here. First request of the day comes from Mr. Ether. He's asking, how is my old dear Cardano and ENJ? So let's give ADA a look, guys. We're getting right into the request now.
I mean, getting a good exit signal here. The short signal back here. Oh, couldn't quite take it. Bouncing off the 200 EMA. But again, I don't think that this is a good spot to be a buyer, in my opinion. Yes, you are getting a crossover. Depends on what kind of trader you are. Again, are coming up on some historical support. But again, this is just not the type of trades that I take in the sense of trying to catch a reversal on a knife. Because this is coming up, acting as resistance. I think that you'll likely go sideways here as well. So you got a clear trend here. You could wait for that trend break. Again, I would just be patient with it. But I think that you should give this a little bit more time. Depending on what kind of back-tested system that you have. I don't really take these types of trades. But I really think that it would behoove you to just be patient here because I think it'll go sideways. If not, it'll break up, give you that entry above the 13, and let it break above some levels because I think that this is a clear level that it's obeying right now at that $1.86 range. Let it get back above that and establish a little bit of support because in theory, this is the first bounce because you never got real retracement to the upside. So, in the opinion of never buy the first bounce, I still think that this has a little bit more downside. You got a continuation short on this weekly candle this week. Clearly, it's obeying a trend here. As you can see, the wicks coming down. Again, man, this is just not the type of trading that I do. But I'm trying to be a little subjective about it. What is that retracement from the top? 40% retracement off the top. Now, I think that I think you should be out of this. You could be short here. No, you should have taken the short back there. You're getting the exit signal. I would be flat on ADA right now, but ultimately I think it has more downside. Just a 40% retracement off of this big old run. And with the market looking as weak as it is, I think that it's more likely to go down than up here. So, nothing I can do with it now. I think that it'll likely go sideways and then ultimately give you a direction. But in my head, it's likely to go down. Sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear, but it's right in the middle of the way I trade on catching on the outside of the oscillator, and that's just not how I do it. But go check bottom feeder to see if it's signaling. Maybe it is.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the next request. That was a look at ADA and for our boy Mr. Ether. He also wants to look at ENJ, so let's give ENJ a look.
ENJ. Woo, boy. I mean, it looks bullish, man. A little bit overextended for my likings. Could get some kind of intraday pullback that puts you back down within range, but it looks like a very solid initiation signal. Everything that you want to see. Rising explosion level, rising momentum, WADA and TT crossing up over. And I do believe this is getting close to an all-time high. Will be an all-time high close if it closes as is. I think that this is very bullish for ENJ in the sense that this chart looks great. There's no weakness here that I can see. But that's not to say that you close up here, wick up, and then wick all the way back down to close through all of this. That's why it's so important in times like this that you have take profits on the books, because we just don't know when these things are going to reverse. For me, this is a little too far extended. Of course, that's just way too big of a candle to buy for me. I like better entries than that. Okay, it's already ran up 24% on the day. But wait to see how it closes today. If you close back above here, I think that it is ripe for continuation. I mean, this weekly looks incredible. Would have been a great entry right there, wouldn't it?
All right, we got a new user coming through the live chat. Hold Your Breath is on YouTube, and he writes the following. Jason, brace yourself. Bro, these charts are super bullish. We're going to explode. I don't like this TA. Where's your Ichimoku? Where's your Fibonacci? Where's your pattern analysis? We have active inverse head and shoulder on Bitcoin all the way to 80,000. All right, so somebody not necessarily agreeing with Jason's read of the charts.
First time around here, man, like that's not like you don't just do like TA is one thing, but I'm also trading systems here. Like it's a much different thing, but I mean, more power to you if that's all you use is just regular technical pattern setups.
Indeed, but shout outs to
it's wild that you're like. It tells me that you haven't done that long in the sense that someone who has would never make a statement like that, because they understand that all of these different things are just tools in order to look for an edge in the market rather than tell you exactly what it's going to happen like a crystal ball.
Yep. With that said,
not how it works, man.
Not to come down too hard on hold your breath, but we always appreciate having new traders come through.
Don't hold your breath, my friend, because you can just go look at all the data. We have it all up for you, all of the monthly results. That speaks for itself, not the sense that, well, look at this head and shoulders and no, we have to go up because this technical analysis says this. If you get too biased in technical analysis, you will end up failing by analysis paralysis, because there's no such thing as 100% proof pattern. Like, it just gives you statistics of an edge. That's it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have new people coming through. Hold your breath. Please do stick around. We look forward to having more of you around. Thank you for your comment. Much love to you, my man. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the next request. So we looked at Cardano and ENJ for Mr. Ether. Big shout out to you.
ENJ does look like it's going into price discovery, though, man. I mean, I couldn't take a trade on it looking like this, but you could look for a pullback, like down to that like $3.30 range. Hope that you can catch it on like a 3-bar reversal just to test this trend here. That could be a good trade, but I mean, if you're in it, I mean, just sit back and relax and just see what happens, man. Could be some fireworks.
All right. Well, that was ENJ. Final thoughts on ENJ there. Let's go ahead and get into the next request. It's the following for BFlow. I shorted Woo USDT last night. Would you say that was a bad move? Should I ride the storm out? All right. So he shorted it. It reversed in his face. What do you think? Let's give this chart a look.
I don't think that that's silly at all, my friend. I think that you're looking at a reversal baseline bounce here. I think that this is very likely to get faded. One thing, it is getting back above your baseline here. The only thing that I would say that would give you a great exit signal, if this ends up being a bullish engulfing candle over this and closing back above there, I think that that's likely for you to get out of it, because then you'll probably come back down, tag the baseline, get continuation back to the upside. But as for this signal, I think that this looks like a great opportunity for a baseline bounce. Yeah, you're underwater right now. I would look for that close back above here. Maybe a stop loss sitting at that like 153 range with a timeout on it. I think that that would probably do you well, because I think that you will end up getting continuation up out of this. You'll just have to wait for close. If you get a close back above here, get out of it. But I think that this will likely get faded a little bit, and you'll get a test of at least this range. If not, just sell right through it. This is a great signal, in my opinion. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I thought that this short signal was on yesterday's candle. So I would not have been in this. I would have been looking at just that. Okay. So, okay. If I was looking at it in that way, if it closes above $1.45, I would get out of it. That's what I would do with this. If I had pulled the trigger yesterday a little prematurely, I would wait. If it closes back below your baseline, I think that you got a good chance that it gets sold into. But if not, just cut your losses, move on. It looks like you pulled the trigger a little prematurely here. None of your oscillators were even crossed. But that happens, man. Part of doing this is realizing when you made a mistake and cutting your losses. So, I mean, if you don't want to just cut it now, I would wait for a close above 145 and get out of it if that's the case. Because you don't want to be caught on the other side of this if everything does flip to the upside.
All right. With that said, guys, that would be a look at Woo. About what you'd expect. B-flow wanders back up to the baseline. Probably reject from here. I think you're safe. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the next request. Let me see here. Condolences, yes. Condolences and farewell to Hold Your Breath. They came and they went. It was really quick. Thank you, Mr. Ether, for a bit of moderation. Sadly, people are not necessarily constructive with their feedback. And,
I love that feedback, though. He sounds like a guy who missed the boat and wants to buy lower. Don't we all?
No kidding. Of course, people come in here with, a lot of, I don't know how they do it. They listen to you for 30 seconds and they draw all types of conclusions.
Well, I get it. Like, especially when you hear Alex and Justin, I'm totally different in the sense that, like, they have a lot more market knowledge and stuff like that. I'm just a good systematic trader and a good trend spotter. Like,
yep.
In pattern recognition is what I'm actually good at.
Hey, the results speak for themselves. Check out results.cryptocurrency.com. See how our traders perform.
Especially if you're following along this month. It's been a very odd market to trade with how kind of choppy it's been up and down volatility-wise. And we've been doing very well this month.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done very well a lot of months. So, I mean...
Yeah, it's one thing to come through YouTube chat, live chat, and talk a lot of game. It's another to record, keep a tight record of all of your trades, all your positions, all your historical data, going back months.
More on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that guy. Like, I don't want to just sit there and like try to look at this. Like, I just kind of figure if you just keep working, the results will speak for themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me money, so I mean. That's a win-win.
That's right. Hold your breath. If you're still with us, I encourage you to check out results.cryptocurrency.com. You might have got the wrong impression for Jason, but let me tell you, his results speak for themselves. Where is your trading portfolio? Hold your breath. Do let us know how you historically stack up.
I missed the boat.
It's all good. With that said, let's go ahead and get to the next request. Big shout outs to B-Flow for the Woo request. What is this? Wolfie. Anywhere it said, don't worry, Wolfie. All right, we'll remove Wolfie from the list. It was just a worthless meme coin. We're going to get into the next more substantial request. It comes from Peckham08. He wants to look at MANA, WAXP, and VeChain. So let's start with Decentraland MANA.
Let me be honest with you. I don't know why I didn't see this. This was on Bybit. Oh, it just looks so much different on Bybit. And there's not enough data, that's why. Okay. That sucks, man. I would have totally taken this trade yesterday.
Yeah,
this is a beauty.
Look up MANA on Binance or something for more data.
Yeah, for sure. But this was a beautiful continuation textbook. Close above resistance here. Boom, get the CL right off there off Minx and time transformation. Rising explosion level. You don't even need WADA on this, but you're getting it. You would have already wicked up, hit TP1 here. I would be careful entering here, just in the sense of the signal was yesterday. You would have already gotten in here. But as for weaknesses, the only weakness that I can see is just the odds of a candle end up being completely shaven here with no wick at all. I mean, it's relatively low. You usually get some kind of action to the downside and end up with some kind of wick. So entering here, I don't know if it's the best decision, but the chart itself looks very bullish for continuation. And as of now, you're in price discovery. So, I mean, we can make a little tiny fib extension, but it's not really going to do much in the sense of, yeah, you already came up here, rejected off of the 4.43. But, I mean, it looks crazy strong right now. There's no denying that this looks great. The signal to be in would have been yesterday, which would have been a fantastic signal. I was looking at the Bybit chart that didn't have enough data, and it looked overextended to me, so I did not check Binance, which is my fault. But other than that, I think it looks great. I think it looks like a nice little pennant here. Actually, one could argue it rather that it's an ascending triangle. Come on, baby. Boom, boom. That would take you right back up to the top of this wick, and I do like that. Ascending triangle plays usually play out pretty well. That's not to say that you couldn't get some throwback here, but I do like MANA up to that 485 range again to hit all-time highs. I mean, this just looks like a bullish chart, man, and it's one of those situations that you kind of got to long till you're wrong. And these, who's to say how high these metaverse coins can go? I did take a position yesterday on Alice. Let's see here. I did take this position as well. It's coming back down here testing. There's nothing quite for me to do. I'm in a little bit of drawdown, but MANA in comparison looks like it's actually a little bit stronger here. So if you're in it, I think that you're great to be in it. Wouldn't necessarily call you a fool for trying to get in here, but in the way that I trade, I think that my opportunity is passed. And don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't try to trade the same trade twice. But very bullish.
All
MANA
right.
looks.
Big shout out to Peckham 08. That would be a look at MANA. We're about 5 minutes to go for the D Live chest, so get your D Live lemons in. Quick comment here I'm going to read. Philly Car says, my boat sailed, bro, but don't worry about that. It didn't capsize. So
Your metaphors are magical, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
basically, when somebody comes crying, the ship sailed. I missed it.
Gotcha.
On the positive side, did you capsize, bro? But did you capsize, bro? No. So, but are you capsized? No. All right, then you live to fight another day. Big shout outs to Philly Car. Let's see here. Dodgy music tonight. Music is far better when Alex is on. Well, I can't help what playlist I choose for the day. Justin called MANA in yesterday's stream. Justin called MANA yesterday. Good stuff. With that said, let's go into the next.
I'm surprised you didn't take a MANA trade.
WAXP. WAXP is next for Peckham 08.
USD. Ooh, foxylated. I don't necessarily hate the chart. I like this stair-stepping action. I think that it'll likely continue. You are at all-time highs here. Let's see here. Go here. Go here. I think a close back above here is likely for continuation on the daily. You do got to take profit signal right here on your oscillators. Does look like time transformation is getting damn close. It actually is crossing back up. So this would be a solid continuation. if you get this close, and I think the only way that you're going to get this close is if this closes here or back up a little bit above. And I think that that's actually a bullish sign for this. Wait for the daily close. You've gone pretty parabolic here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it can't continue. It'll likely march sideways here. But I say if you get a close back above this today, that not 8592 level, if you close a new high, then I think that that's very solid for continuation on time transformation, as well as a rising explosion level, rising momentum. I think that WAXP could end up a continuation today. If not, you'd have to just wait. Then within the next couple of days, you'll likely get that. But also, that's a good thing in the sense that sometimes getting in right when you think it's the right time is the wrong thing, and you end up having to sit with a sideways trade or just pay the funding fees for no reason to sit in a trade that you could have taken much later and had actual confirmation and not worried about it. So if it closes anything like this today, you'll likely just wait on it. But depending on what kind of entry you're using, because Minx is a little less sensitive here than time transformation, this would be a continuation on some people's systems. So do with that what you will. I think that it does look strong, but if the rest of the market starts to sell off, this will too. But it's in all-time highs. Price discovery, things could continue to accelerate. And you are getting a rising explosion level on the daily, so maybe things keep expanding to the upside. Perhaps this is a golden opportunity.
All right, well, there is a look at WAXP for Peckham 08. Let's get it to VeChain, and I'm going to go distribute the lemons in about 2 minutes. So VeChain is next, and right after, we're getting into lemons.
So what's after WAXP?
VeChain.
And look at the weekly, man. I mean, just no weakness.
Vet.
This is another one of those ones that I can't help but think baseline bounce, short opportunity. You got the short right here, got follow through, boom, would be bouncing back up. Kind of similar to what happened with Bitcoin. You are getting crossovers on time transformation here, not quite on Minx. But this is a bearish chart for now. There's no reason to think that this is bullish. You've sold off quite a bit. You are coming back down to tap these levels. You just have to see if these things hold, man. So I think you're likely in for some sideways action on VET, as well as a lot of other alts. A lot of charts look exactly the same as this. But if we do get that acceleration and break of this trend, buying on the break of this trend would not be a bad idea, because that is likely to lead to expansion to the upside rather quickly. Because if we can't go down, we will go up. But again, wait for a close above those levels, because just a big old candle up there, volatility happens all the time. Look at these wicks. You can't get scared out. It's very likely that we'll come up here and test this, or if not, go sideways till we test it, then break it or reject from it. So I think that there's time.
All right, that's it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
VeChain in the bag. Big shout outs to Peckham 08. That's the last request of the day, or from Peckham at least. Jonah loved the show. First place of the D-Live giveaway. Jonah walking away 50 plus lemons. Only 3 winners for today's lemon giveaway. I presume you guys didn't see the prompt. D-Live is acting up all week, guys. I do apologize. It was just a struggle just to open this chest. I don't know what's going on with D-Live lately. With that said, that would be that for that request. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Bear with me here 1 second. Loading the next request. It's the following for David Rice. He wants to look at Uno Bitcoin. Uno momento, por favor.
Uno Bitcoin. Looks like throwback on an ascending triangle to me. Let's go. sure does. This was what I would call a throwback on an ascending triangle. Didn't quite get to your goal because that measured move would take you probably about up to here. Throwback here, boom, come back down here, test support. I actually do like this chart for continuation, to be honest with you. Nothing you can do with it here quite yet. You'd have to give it a little bit more time. But any close above this level here, it gives you a nice little target here around that 1400 sats. Any close above there, I think that you're destined to continue up. These type of fake outs happen all the time. False breakouts on ascending triangles usually go half the distance to your take profit on the measured move, and then throw all the way back, come back down to test these levels. Sometimes it comes down here, but you can see that we're actually reacting off of this level. So any break of this range, get out. Any break above this, get in. That's my opinion on this. Uno Bitcoin, I think, is bullishly postured in an ascending triangle here. So I think that this range right here gives you a good risk to reward if you took the trade here. Just put your stop loss back below that wick here of that 1300 sats, and then see what happens with it.
All right.
I don't think that's a slow trade at all. Let's look at the USDT pairing here. USDT pairing is coming back down to test some levels, looking weaker, but also I do expect if these things begin to fall, that BTC pairings will make up a little bit of room. But it does appear to be stuck within the same range. Not nearly as bullish, I think, as the BTC pairing. But yeah, because you've definitely got a break of trend there as well. Just see. Actually, this still could end up working out. I've seen throwback that's way worse than this come all the way back down here to test that and then finally still go. But as for now, the BTC pairing I think is an interesting chart. But I'm looking weak on the Uno USDT pairing. If anything, right now that's a great full signal on short here with a nice baseline bounce and close below. This would be an initiation for a short, in my opinion, on this chart. I think you should take this to the downside here on the USDT pairing. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that the BTC pairing won't have a good day.
Indeed. Well, that was a look at Uno Bitcoin for our boy David Rice in the live chat. Big shout outs to David this Friday afternoon. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the next one. Crypto Bull confirms Justin called MINA breakout on the 4-hour yesterday, and I kicked myself for missing that one. Oh well.
He didn't take the trade himself.
With that said, let's go ahead and get into next request. What do we have here? We have Xavier of the YouTube chat. Is there time for Tron and Amisa Go? Yeah, we got 10 minutes left in the show. Let's knock these two out.
Well, I mean, quite the pullback here on Tron. Coming back down here to test this, the 100 EMA, 200 EMA. Quite the trend on Tron. I mean, I guess we could make this. I mean, it hasn't broke that necessarily. I mean, I think it's sold off quite a bit. It wouldn't surprise me if you get a little bit more appreciation to the upside, a return to the mean, reversion to mean here. Nothing that you can quite do with it in the sense of my system, but I have found that just when you think things need a little bit of reprieve to the upside during these times in the market, that's usually when you don't get them and people get caught. So that's why I'm being very careful right now in the sense of what trades I take, because I don't want to try to catch any reversals that I think look solid and then end up getting buried on them, because that's it's happened to me in the past, and one of the reasons why I switched to the way of trading that I trade now. And it just saves a lot of headache, man. And you have no broken trend, anything. If you were short in it, you probably already got some profit out of it. I wouldn't advise entering here because you could get that pump to the upside, or you're right in the middle and your oscillators are crossing over to give you a take profit short. So nothing you can quite do here yet with it. Looking at the weekly, not a pretty weekly candle. I mean, that looks pretty pretty negative, to be honest with you, on a swing failure pattern with a lot of untested equity down here. I think that Tron actually looks super weak on the weekly. I think that it's likely to come back down and test. Again, you'll just have to be patient with it and see if it gets a buyback or not, but I think that the weekly looks very weak here, especially if it closes anything like this.
All right, Tron in the bag. Couple minutes left on the show. Let's get into the next one. Omizago.
I mean, OMG has just had no reprieve. But it also had a very parabolic run. And this is one of those things that I talk about in the sense of, like, when you see a pattern like this that has all of this space and equity below it that's just untapped, it just screams at some point you're going to get that reversal. And if you look at that, like, Bart Simpson-y type hair, like upside down here, this is what I was talking about on that square shape that you see on bottoms. If you inverse it real quick, like, you start seeing that square, like right here. And in my mind, it's a mirroring of itself to where the market can begin to trend in the other direction. You usually get some kind of blow off top. But that's a very typical pattern in my head. And then you get this large sell-off to the bottom. Yes, it's sold off a lot here, and you would think that you're going to get some kind of test of this $12.80 range. But you just don't know that, man. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I think that it looks super weak here, and you should remain weak on it until it proves you otherwise. And that could end up a whole nother leg down to come down here and test these historical levels down here at that $7.30. And then, I mean, hell, even down there at that level of 480. But yeah, I mean, it looks very, very weak. You are getting exit signals here on time transformation. I'll be interested to see if there's any kind of bottom feeder, or just go back to see the historicity of those results to see whether it's worth taking a shot at. Because there is a trade in here somewhere. You just don't know the timing. And just using one thing as an entry, I don't think is a good idea. There's a reason why we use multiple indicators stacked over each other to make sure that it weeds out all of those indecision signals. And you can get a lot of them if you're just using one tool. But OMG looks very weak here.
All right, Omizago in the bag. Big shout outs to Xavier for those two. 5 minutes left of the show. Let's see if we can power through the remaining few requests. Let's double time these last few. Orchid in MINA for Murdoch the Murloc. In that case, very quickly, Orchid.
OXT?
Yes, sir.
I think OXT is another one of those that looks like a baseline bounce play. Interestingly enough, the same way Bitcoin's coming up on some resistance, Orchid's coming right back up here, testing this. What was resistance in the past, come up here, test, and now coming back down and becoming resistance once again. I think that this actually looks pretty weak for Orchid. If anything, I think you should be looking for a baseline bounce play to the downside. But other than that, I think it looks bearish here.
Cool. Moving into the next one, MINA. MINA, that MINA.
MINA. USDT.
MINA.
MINA. Remember that square pattern I was talking about? This reminds me very much of it once again. Which means to me that you're likely either get some kind of acceleration to the upside or will just sell off here. This again is one of those ones that I would be looking for a better entry on this signal right here. This short signal was good. Didn't quite get down there. This baseline pullback here and a close below here I think would be a very solid entry for a short on MINA here. And then if you close back above that baseline, it's an easy out. Because this very well could get follow through. But in my head, like this looks like a failure, a swing failure.
Well done. All right. 3 minutes left in the show. Let's knock out another one or two. Stellar Lumens XLM for Dobromir Zlatev. All right, Mr. Dobromir.
Again, same thing here. I think that if anything, you should be looking for that baseline bounce. Short entry. Got the short signal here. Again, it would have been a little bit too overextended for me to take. I would have likely put in something right here. So this would be a great entry on this short position with the stop sitting up here around 39.70. And then any close above that 13 within that range, I think you're free to get out. So that's a nice low risk entry there. Yes, you do have some historical support here, but you got to follow the trend until it's not the trend anymore. And I think that we've seen a lot of different reversal patterns on a lot of different charts here. And I think that that's indicative to follow through. So we just kind of got to trade the chart in front of us. I think that this is a good entry on a short position for XLM USDT.
All right, Dobromir, I know you wrote XLM super bullish, but Jason sees more of a case to short this ish right here.
If you get that, I mean, look at this long sell off, reversion to mean, and then you'd likely get another stab back down. I mean, you're gonna get that stab back down regardless. I just don't know how low it's going to be, if it's a breakdown below this level or not. But taking the short here and then seeing if you close back above that EMA to give you strength, I think that would be a good play as well. But I don't see this as a bullish chart. You're under a lot of resistance, and you just tried to go through, make a new high, and then you got sold into and hammered down immediately. That's bearish to me.
All right, there you have it. 90 seconds left in the show. Let's knock out one more Jason in fine form tonight. ENS, yes, Paranormal Debunker. Ethereum name service is now listed on Coinbase. Let's give that a look. Yes, indeed, ENS is on Coinbase. I wish I sold the top. I was eyeing the top. I got greedy, and it slapped me in the face.
You know who has the most data on this?
It's a fairly new one, and the most data will be on chartx.pro if you search ENS. Fairly new. You're not going to get too much data, but boy, my allotment was worth my allotment was worth like ETH and a half. I balked at it, and now I regret it. I should have taken my ETH and a half when I had it.
I say you just forget it ever happened.
I think so. ANS is a staple. It'll be here for a while. With that said,
Yeah.
is this thing turn it down to like the hourly? Or, oh, it's this you are the 4 hour.
Yeah.
All right, right click and reset the chart. So it probably folds out properly, and now zoom back in. There we go.
I mean, nothing to really say here. I mean, I don't think that. What did you get it dropped at?
Turn it up to the daily. I'm getting wrecked.
Well, dude, if it looks like this on the 4 hour, like it's gonna look shittier on the daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll go back here. Fine, whatever.
Let's go back.
I mean, nothing you can really do. Let's look at lower time frames. Ooh, good little trend break here, actually. Very solid 4 hour signal. I like it. This would be a great opportunity for a baseline bounce entry on this signal. Boom. Let me confirm it with another system that I use. Not quite there on this one. This is one that I use that utilizes the 60 hole on the 4 hour with Parallax and Wada Atar, only using the rising explosion level. This one wouldn't get me into this trade. Actually, it hasn't been alive long enough for me to even get a baseline out of it. Never mind. But not quite there. But it does look like a great 3 white soldiers pattern, likely for continuation on the 4 hour here. 3 white soldiers coming in right here. Boom, boom, boom. Wouldn't be surprised if you get some kind of test at this level down this 43 range. But a safe stop would be right here below this range at $42.68. take that up to the upside. But good break of trend for what data that you have. Coming back down to tests. Lower time frames look actually kind of bullish on ENS right here. But as for the daily, there's just nothing you can do with not having any kind of information.
All right, well, that would be a look at ENS. I think it's time to wrap. We have one last request on the day. Let's go see who it's from. The Real Fitzy on Twitch. Could I take a look at some of that algo? Well, what do you think, Jason? You want to go an extra couple of minutes? Look at algo?
Why not?
Why not? Let's do it.
Algo on 4 hour actually looking pretty bullish right there, to be honest with you. This coiling is pretty indicative of continuation, in my opinion. You got that big old blow off yesterday, which really sucks that it screwed my oscillator, because hopefully I can actually get this. I saw this explosion and posted in the group. I'm like, go, algo, go. And I thought about just selling my position up here at like that 268, but it's a long hold. I'm not going to start doing that. But based on lower time frames, I think that this is going to coil. Boom, boom. You just have to see if you get that break back above. Great little level to look at there at the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. Nothing you can quite do. Do like the rising explosion level. Nothing you can do with it on the daily. It's still stuck below. Was a ton of volume that came into this. We just got to see whether or not that was just someone fat fingering or someone just jumping the gun a little bit. But coming in the next coming days, we'll likely get, if we do get upside pressure, this will probably be a great entry. But you are coming right up on resistance after quite the wick to the upside and sell off. So wait for the daily close. This could actually end up signaling a full short if we actually end up getting sold into today. And that would likely be a very good a short position. But nothing you can do with it now. Nice wick on it, but I mean, I'm sure we'll see a news article on why that happened. But I think as for now, it's a week.
Jeez, my mic was unmuted the whole time. Sorry for the noise, guys. Let's go ahead and prepare to wrap the show up. Blade Runner 378, you are very persistent, my man. I understand you have your particular style of trading. Blade Runner is totally in disagreement with you on your take on XLM. He writes, are you seriously saying that we would short XLM when it just bounced exactly off of Fibonacci 618? And you should be in a long position already. You trying to trick people here? No, everybody. Listen.
What did I say? Being in a long position on XLM.
No, he said you short it. Yeah, he's disagreeing with you shorting it. He thinks it's bouncing off the Fib 618. That, you know.
Well, that's fine, bud. But here's the thing: price goes up, price goes down. It doesn't just bounce off one thing and then go straight up forever, my friend. Like, these are opportunities for shorts. I don't care what you say. You're coming right back up on resistance and testing the mean of price. Price is a reversion to mean tool. I mean, it will always oscillate in that manner. Yes, you can say that we're bouncing off a fib level, but there's fib levels all over the goddamn place. Like, have you ever heard of the term resistance come support, support come resistance? It takes time for it to bounce off of these things. But you can't tell me that this is a bullish chart. Find an analyst out there that says this looks great for continuation to the upside. And if they are, then they're guessing on a breakout. If anything, they'll be like, okay, yes, this is another test of this channel right here and here, and we're bouncing off of that. Yeah, one, down below, one, two, and then getting a reversion to the mean. So now we just have to see if we break to the upside or break to the downside. So we look for the evidence on what we should be looking for. Right now, as is, we would be looking at a continuation short signal, or a baseline short signal based on this signal right here. It takes time for these things to play out, and this is a better entry on your short than right here. But if you do get that close back above your baseline, then you know to get out of this position. It's not like every single trade that you take, you're like, yep, I know exactly it's going to work out. Like, you're always taking this with a bit of risk. This would be a setup on a short entry, in my opinion, and I think that there's a lot of people that would agree with me on that. So good luck on your long.
Indeed. Let's see here. The Splashy asks, "Evening, guys. You said something about a Black Friday premium subscription. Yeah. Clearly we haven't announced that yet, but I think Black Friday is approaching. All right. When's Black Friday? End of the month for you Yankees down there. Let's take a look. Black Friday coming up. If we haven't made the official announcement yet, keep your eyes tuned to the Discord. I'm sure there'll be an announcement coming. If not, I'll probably once the staff lets me know what we're doing for Black Friday, believe me, guys, you'll be the first to know. I'll update you maybe on Monday. I'll talk to the team on the weekend. We'll see what the deal is with the discount. Let's see here. I stepped in a pile of fib level in my yard yesterday, says Ron Legato. Right. Let's see here. But guys, thank you so much for your comments. Big shout outs to everybody who kicked it with us this week. It's time to go winding it down. We did cover a decent amount of requests today. Big shout outs to Jason holding it down as always. Finally, let's go ahead and put this on the screen. We got the following. Do check out, speaking of our education material, do check out premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Get access to all our proprietary indicators, education material, Pathways to Profits course. Man, there's a lot of features to be had, a lot of value-added stuff at Premium. Also, check out results.krakencryptocurrency.com. That's right, we're a very transparent group. Our traders are very diligent in record keeping, and boy, do we compile those stats. Find out that we indeed walk the talk here at CC by checking out results.krakencryptocurrency.com. And heck, if you just want to come join our community, kick it with us in the Discord, do check out discord.krakencryptocurrency.com for your very own Discord link. Now, with that said, let's go just check here. Tomorrow is fight night.
Who's fighting?
Well, it's two women in a main event, followed by Michael Chiesa versus Sean Brady. Welterweight co-main event. Do I have a time yet? I don't have a time. When will UFC start tomorrow? I'm not too sure, guys, but check us out. If you want to catch UFC, tag me in the general chat, or I'll probably leave you guys a comment there. Bring you guys in to watch some UFC tomorrow night. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. Big shout outs to everybody who makes the show possible, the entire team. Our analysts, Alex, Jason, and Justin, everybody who makes the moderators of the server, all the administrators, everybody from Mr. Ether, Dark Rico, Crypto Bull, Payday, so many more of you. Thank you so much, everybody who makes it happen. Yeah, what else do I have to add? Probably forgetting stuff, but I do want to get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody kicked it. And Jason, final words to you, big guy.
Oh, sorry, I was reading that comment in the thing.
It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, as for now, I think that it's like looking at lower time frame Bitcoin here, like it's not a surprise that it's bouncing right in that range that I marked out. And I think that it'll likely close within this range. You're getting a rejection off of the 4 hour now. I think that the weekend likely looks like we're going to get forced down, in my opinion. Like I said, I do think that there's opportunity for some short entries on baseline bounces, like I was saying, like with XLM. Of course, you have to look at these things and wait for closes above your marks that would kick you out of those positions. There's a risk with any kind of trade. But looking at Bitcoin on lower time frames, as well as the markets, like we're still under a lot of resistances here if you look at everything. Yes, it's a nice big candle on the daily, but guess what? These things usually come simpatico. But big candle down, big candle up, big candle down again. So I think that if anything, we'll go sideways, if not down, over the weekend. I think there will be some plays on the table. I am in Alice. Mana looks great. Again, a lot of these metaverse coins just are not following the rules of the market because everyone's so hyped. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Sand go, Mana, Alice, all of those different metaverse coins. And I think it's cool now, like on Bybit, they've actually made a way for you to like quickly delineate between what are the types of coins and why they're on there. And that makes it actually really easy to see what kind of market's trading, as well as looking at those different perps. But like last week, I wanted to be really bullish going into the weekend. We just went sideways, got that pump, and then a rejection off of that Sunday close, which got everyone excited. Then boom, and now here we are. We find ourselves back intra week. We said we'd short it if we got the opportunity. We got the opportunity. We've taken profit. Now we're sitting with our just sitting on our hands waiting to see what the market's going to do. But I really will be shocked if we don't get a test of that 52 to 48 range, shake people out, get a nice bounce back up to test the mid range, maybe even like this 56 becomes a new bottom. If not, we press through and go to all-time highs. That's great. We just got to look at what we can look at today. And right now, I think the right thing is to do is be tentatively bearish in the short term. We're already in our short positions. You got to let your winners win, man. Just make sure you're assessing your risk appropriately, because when it does flip-flop, it'll likely flip very volatilely, and you got to make sure that when you take those losses, they're minimal to get on the right side of the trend again. But for now, the trend is to the downside, and with the Dixie ripping the way it is, that doesn't shock me at all.
All right, let's take a look here. That would be a great final thoughts, guys. It's time to wind it down. Great conclusions here. Big shouts to Blade Runner 378.
Not my job to be right, Blade Runner. It's my job to make money. And if you get yourself caught up in just trying to be right, you're going to end up losing a lot of money, because that's not what it's about. You need to be able to take your L's as quickly as you can take your wins, and make sure that you're moving to get on the right side of the market.
Indeed.
But in technical analysis, this is weak.
No hard feelings to Blade Runner 378. Sometimes you know how it is. You meet people, you butt heads, and then later you become best of friends. Look forward to having Blade Runner with us some more in the future. I think we'll...
It gives you something to come back for, bud.
Exactly. No hard feelings whatsoever. Much love to everybody here. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Yep, trade safely, guys. Goodbye.
That's it.